Howdy folks, welcome back to the channel. Good to see y'all. Today we're talking the Guitargate Lab Teleport. Now, this product is not your ordinary looper, and right up front, I would say it is one of the most amazing practice tools you could own as a loop pedal in your arsenal. Now, this was created by a good friend of mine, Michael Palmisano. You might know Michael from Guitargate and what he does over there, but he has ventured into the gear world, which is so funny because Michael is not a gearhead, but he's an educator and he created something that is fantastic as a way for us to become better musicians. So, what do we have? We got a looper that is a multi-track loop station and almost like a DAW on your desktop or on your pedal board. So, what do we have? So we can kind of go through we can have 4 different tracks. There are 4 different inputs and outputs on the back, so technically you could go your guitar amp for one input and output, a bass amp to play bass through another one, going through a bass amp. You could have a keyboard going into a keyboard amp or a PA system, whatever you want to do, drums, whatever your imagination can muster, this thing could do. So they've thought a lot of really cool things through. We have metronomes on track, or on tap, I should say. Now, what I love about this is there's a bunch of great grooves. I personally don't love playing to a click or a metronome. It's just kind of dull and boring. I'd rather play with a drummer. So what Michael and his buddies, his partners have created here is a metronome, click, and drum groove beat making tool. So it's a terrible way to put it, Mark, but still, you get the point. There's a lot of great drum grooves in here to practice with and to record with. So what I want to show you really quick is got a record button, playback button, tap tempo for the grooves and for the metronome and all that stuff. Now what you'll see here on the screen, if I zoom in a little bit, let me zoom in, is you're going to see there is a 8th note hi-hat and kick groove here, okay? So what we can do is if we want, there's a drum knob right here, and we can scroll through the drum grooves. Let me get that back in there so you can see the drum. So we got, here, let me hit the play button so you can hear this. So I just showed you like 5 of them. There's a ton in here. So let's go back to that 8th, eighth note rock groove. Okay, so we're going to play to this one. I'm going to record the first track. I'm going to record like the rhythm track of a song of mine called Nola Girl. And then the second track, I'm going to put some overdubs on top of that. And then I'm going to grab my keyboard and I'm going to play some keys with it too. So we can get a vibe for, what that thing can do. Maybe the keys. Let's start with... I'm getting a little lofty here. Let's start with just the guitar, and let's go into the first track. So here we go. So this is track 1. Now, what's really nice about this, too, let me pull this back out. What's really nice about this is I can have a count in, for my track. So if you are new to loop stations, if you kind of feel like your time is a little off and you can never get it right whenever you play with like a Boss loop station or something like that, well, this is great because it just kind of hands it to you, gives you the groove up front, then you dive right in. So... all right, let's do it. Here we go. We're going to get 4 beat count in. Awesome. So it is right on the grid. Okay, so cool thing here too is you'll see these ones on either side of the tracks. Those are designating your input and your output. So what I can do is change those by pressing down on the track button and moving the knob. But right now what we're going to do, we're going to stay in 1 and 1 because we're still going through the guitar amp. So let's do a second track. I'm going to do some noodling and some slide stuff just to kind of give it a little bit of a, a little bit of personality. And in fact, you know what? Let's do this. Let's change guitars so we can get a different timbre. All right, cool. Got the Strat so we can get a little bit of spank to this. And let's do the second track. Here we go. It's going to count us in again. All right, sounds great in my opinion. Let's get the keyboard. I'm gonna see how that sounds through this guitar amp. All right, cool. I got the keyboard kicking going through the 2-rock, which I've never done before. We'll see how that sounds. Got a Wurlitzer. And let's just do it. All right, it's gonna give me the 4 count. I've never played keys on this, so get ready for some clams. All right, cool. So I don't want to run that bass through this 2-rock. So what I'm going to do is I put an organ on. We're going to put an organ bass line with this groove. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, so now that we have all of this, we've got a rhythm guitar track, a quasi like lead-ish guitar track. We've got a Wurlitzer, and then we've got that organ bass line. Now that I have all of that, what I want to do is my favorite thing to do is take this over to the drum kit and practice playing drums. Let's give it a whirl. So that's it, guys. That's the teleport. That's how I like to use it as a practice tool. I think everybody would be doing themselves a huge favor
if you got yourself one of these and just really kind of worked on your chops and like all your musicality. I mean, there's so much applicable, I don't know. I mean, there's just a lot of different ways that you can use this as a tool to improve as a musician, which is the intent of the product itself. This is not necessarily meant to be like an Ed Sheeran type looping situation. Although you could use it like that, I think this thing is a great way. As you just saw, like when I was playing drums, I mean, I'm not a drummer. I like to have fun and play the drums, but like I was really kind of trying to slow myself down and make sure I was staying on the grid and being conscious of that while keeping a good feel and a good groove. And I think that's the point. I mean, it's the point. Whether you're playing bass, whether you're playing guitar, whether you're playing trumpet, it doesn't matter. I think this thing is really going to get you there, and you'll see, I think, improvement in strides like quickly. I really do. I think this thing is a great way to keep you on the grid and great way to kind of get you playing. And also, I didn't even talk about the fact that this is a tool that's meant to be able to be used where you can send tracks to people in Colorado from Maryland and they can add parts, and then you can upload it to the community and everybody can go in. I don't even want to open up the app. It would be a huge huge rabbit hole to go down to show you, but like the app is killer. The app, you can go in and you can upload tunes and you can add stuff. You can download stuff from other people and add parts and send it back to them and collaborate. It's just awesome. It's an awesome device. Michael, everybody over at Guitargate Labs, really, really cool. Thank you so much for hooking me up with one. It's a really fun practice tool, and I really appreciate you. Everybody, take care of yourself. Take care of each other. I'll see you next time.